Hello everyone. Managed to paint up a few more figures to be included in this Saga Age of Magic challenge. The first one being a figure that won't get into my warband. It's just one of those figures that come with the files for Empire of Scorching Sands that I printed up. And I quite like this figure, so he'll do as a sort of stand-by or some kind of civilian, sort of part in the game. But he's not part of the warband. He's simply an old man. So I painted him up fairly plainly. I thought I'd mess around a little bit with the animation package that I haven't used in a while, so I might put him up on the screen, give him a little bit of animation to talk to you maybe. Yeah, as I say, painted him up quite plainly. What I thought I would do is, I'm not very good at painting stripes on clothing, but stripes were a significant kind of element in the Abbasid Caliphate's sort of ordinary clothing, as it were. There's a little factoid coming up for you here. There's actually a region of Baghdad called Atabiya, I believe, and that was where they made a lot of striped fabrics, and it is where we get the expression tabby from. So a tabby cat isn't a species of cat, it's simply a cat that has stripes. Anyway, let's show you this character on the turntable here and then start the turntable going just so you can get a better idea of what he looks like all round. As I say, just dead simple, kind of plain painting, nothing too spectacular, or he's meant to just be a member of the crowd. But for a 3D print, I'm pretty happy with him. So here's the first one. Okay, next up we have another djinn or genie completed. This one is the Earth genie. Start the turntable going. So yeah, he's turned out all right. It's sort of got these sort of earthy encrustations on his right arm, and in his left arm he's throwing a sort of egg-shaped boulder. It almost looks like it might be explosive, like some kind of grenade. This was a print in two parts, so his left arm, no, beg your pardon, his right arm is a separate print. You could print it as one print, but then you'd need to use supports for the right arm because it's sort of pointing downwards, so the print is sort of going back on itself, as it were. That always needs supports. So I printed it as two prints and attached the right arm afterwards, but didn't make a terribly good job of it. It looked alright till I painted it, and now you can see quite an obvious sort of gap, but I didn't stretch myself to filling that in the end. I just left it. It's not terrible, but could have done a better job on it. But yeah, very, very pleased with the way he turned out. Okay, and then next we have this water genie or djinn. So it's the first of the female characters, really. Yeah, this print was okay. In terms of painting it, I found it a little bit difficult in that it's got a similar kind of base to the other genies, a sort of rocky kind of shape, desert-like base, but she's emerging from this sort of water spout, as it were, so it's a bit difficult to know what to do about the sort of difference between the desert-like ground that she's on, and the sort of water plume that she's emerging from. So in the end, I just sort of dry brushed a little bit of emerald kind of metallic paint onto the surrounding base, and it makes it look like it's a bit of a, I don't know, splash of water. But that one was a bit awkward. And also it didn't print terribly well, in that there's a lot of detail on it that doesn't really lift off the figure, so it was a little bit difficult to apply a paintbrush to it in the end. But again, you know, not too bad. And I now have 4 genies, so I'm going to turn those into what's known as a conclave in the walls. So you can have 4 figures that you pay 3 points for, and they're a kind of cross between Hearthguard and sorcerers. The downside, as I was saying on a previous video, being that I won't now be able to use my sorcerer figure if I do it that way. But anyway, I'm going to use these 4 and count those as 3 points towards the 8-point challenge. And then finally, for this update, I've got a unit of creatures now. So this is another point towards the warband, and they are, as you can see, giant scorpions. So only allowed 1 unit of creatures in a Great Kingdoms warbands faction. So I have also printed up, haven't painted yet, some giant desert vipers. I'm not quite sure whether to use those or these, but what I'm thinking of now is I'm very nearly at 8 points, and don't have any matching faction to play them against, so I was thinking of printing up quite a lot of the Egyptian kind of themed figures in the files, and turning them into, a lot of them are things like mummies and that, so I was thinking they would be perfect for a sort of an undead warband faction. So I won't include that in the challenge, because it would be a bit of a push maybe to get them completed by the 1st of August. But if I don't use these scorpions for my Legendary Kingdoms faction, I can always use them as creatures in the undead faction that I'll go on to paint, so that I've got 2 armies and I can have some games with them. Yeah, not very realistic scorpion colours, but thought they turned out all right. I was quite pleased with the way they look. They've got kind of almost like a burnt toast sort of look to them, and they look pretty ferocious. Anyway, that's it. That's my next, or my latest update, as it were, and not far to go before I've got 8 points now. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye for now.